begin with one big bang of a match. Lesotho and Angola have their sights set on a continental escapade, but first it's regional success they seek. And their journey will kickstart from the A.W. Miller Stadium. So when you compare the two sides, Lesotho have 9 16-year-olds within their ranks in the starting 11. Lesotho just have the 2 15-year-olds as well. As for Angola, 6 16-year-olds within their ranks and 5 15-year-olds. So a slightly younger Angolan outfit that will take on the Lesotho under-17 national team. We're about 9 minutes or so away from the very first contest in these COSAFA under-17 qualifying tournaments. And here they come, the flag bearers, led up by the young mascots, Angola and Lesotho. It should be an enticing battle for the neutral. And the coaches, the players have waited some time for this moment to arrive, for this tournament to start, for this occasion to begin. It's definitely an occasion to bask in for these youth players. It's always an honor and privilege, no matter the age, to don the national colors of your home country. And Lesotho and its players in particular, as well as its coaches and federation, definitely appear to be in a positive frame of mind, more so than in the past. The senior side and the Chan team have achieved significant milestones recently, so the under-17 group will look to follow suit.
Let's now welcome the two teams, the under-17 national team of Lesotho and Angola.
And here we go then. This is but the beginning of the CAF African Under-17 qualifying tournament in the COSAFA stream. Lesotho and Angola are slight outsiders in this tournament. It is a Group A opener, so 3 points will be up for the grabs. And both these sides will be licking their lips at the prospects of really cementing their place in this tournament and taking a step further towards AFCON under-17 qualification. Lesotho is led out by their captain Flojeng. As for Angola, they are led out by Lucas, who will likely play in the pivot role in the midfield. So the time has arrived for the singing of the first two national anthems, Lesotho, Land of Our Fathers, and Angola, Avante, or Angola, Onwards. So what a way it is to start the 2024 COSAFA Under-17 Championship. Lesotho and Angola are the first two national teams up onto the scale, hoping to make a positive start to their Under-17 COSAFA Championship campaign this year. It is a tournament that will mold only two teams into AFCON contestants. Two worthy teams will enter into a new domain, but only one will do so as champion of the COSAFA region. How far will Lesotho go? How far will Angola go? Well, we'll have to find out over the next 10 days. And that begins this afternoon. Sidwell Mutea has lined up his starting 11 in an attacking 4-3-3 shape, a shape that is subject to change. Moleli starts between the posts. Tlojeng and Lepiane are the two trusted centre halves, with Motati and Ramalitse stationed on either side of the back four. Then closer to the business end of the field, Masitela, Tsemena, Ketsi and Makupane all have important roles to fulfill, that being putting the ball in the back of the net. Lucas and Tlojeng meeting the referee and his relevant assistants in the middle. Norris Aaron Arisol of the Seychelles will be taking charge of this colossal clash. It appears to be a clash of two midfield threes. When two teams mirror one another, it so often boils down to individual quality, and the Angolans would like that quality to exude from Denzel Luyun, Lucas and Jairo Muana. That is their midfield trio. Gelson Dalla starts between the posts. Ivan Manuel, Josemar Vicente, as well as Elisiu Francisco are three players definitely to keep an eye out for. These two outfits are raring to go. They have the appetite to cause an upset and to create a real stir in this competition. Lesotho and its players and its coaches are always so comfortable embracing the underdog tag, the underdog mentality. They will have to do so again this afternoon if they are going to topple an Angolan outfit that do have a very good record in this competition. Although some players have gone, some players have stayed. Let's wait and see what the 2024 Under-17 COSAFA Championships have in store. Just seconds remain before kickoff is had, before this tournament finally is ignited into life. And we are live from the A.W. Miller Stadium right here in Auckland Park, with a beautiful backdrop and two very exciting outfits, hoping to lay down one massive statement, one massive gauntlet. Here we go. Whatever the age group, whatever the game and tournament, it's always so very exciting to see two national prospects facing one another. Lesotho were the quote-unquote home side. These conditions are not unfamiliar to them at all. Stolen well by Diaz Luvumbo. He leads the charge now for Angola, and he'll have a go from range. And it's really not too far away. 30 seconds into this contest and the trigger has already been pulled by Diaz Luvumbo from Angola. The men in red are seeing red early on. That would have been an incredible lift-off, an incredible start to this rather incredible Under-17 COSAFA Championship. Motati to his captain, Tlojeng. Tries to filter a ball down this left-hand side. Lesotho will have to be very sharp defensively, and especially in the center of the park. Not a lot of space and time can be afforded to the likes of Denzel Luyun and Lucas, the 10 and the 6 in that Angolan midfield. They do play a free-flowing kind of brand of football, but so do Lesotho, or so have they tried to do so. Just hasn't been exactly effective and successful over the last year or so. But in a short tournament such as this, things can click and come together nicely, effortlessly. Here's Ivan Manuel playing on the left-hand side of that back four. Baptista, Kalangwinya, Omar Oliveira. Angola playing some enterprising stuff down this right-hand flank, down the left flank of Lesotho, but it's recovered nicely by Ketsi. And now Hlojeng again. It's all about composing the nerves and settling yourself onto a very high stage with high stakes. Lepiane, aimless ball from him over the top, lands at the feet of Lucas. Now history dictates that Angola should be the victors of this rather charming curtain raise in the under-17 COSAFA championships. It's a match between two humble teams with colossal dreams. But on occasions such as this, pressure has a part to play. The type of pressure that can paralyze a young man will bring the very best out of him. It's one or the other. Baptista, Kalangwinya. Omar Oliveira has looked sparky, looked lively earlier on, but it's taken off of him by Ngoko. Here's Omar Oliveira drifting inwards, trying to combine with Diaz Luvumbo, who puts in a sliding challenge. He's up for the contest, that's for sure. Here's Motati. Likes to get forward, capable in the defensive third. He'll have to fulfill both sides of a fullback's game this afternoon in this very important clash against Angola, the Group A opener, let alone the tournament opener. Ketsi with a nice spin. Lesotho looking to launch their first real potent attack of the game so far. Angola just tried their luck on one occasion from that long-range attempt from Diaz Luvumbo. But so far it's just been a spar in the opening almost 4 minutes between these two. Still a light fencing routine as they still discover to try and figure one another out. Angola though trying to play out from the back, and they do so successfully. Now they're going to go over the top with Diaz Luvumbo giving chase. It's good recovery. Lepiane. They'll need to shut down every opportunity that is presented to Diaz Luvumbo. As far as size and stature goes, Angola definitely have the advantage over Lesotho. That's a lovely ball. Is he onside? From the naked eye, it looked to have just drifted in an offside position, and that is the case. Dominica Melusi from Zimbabwe, lifting her flag up. From that angle, quite difficult to judge, but it does appear as if Dominica Melusi did get that call right. Play's been halted here. Lepiane involved in a bit of a collision with Elisiu Francisco. None of these players out on the park today would want to pick up an early injury and see their tournament cut short. And the coaches would hope for the exact same thing. Angola down the left this time. Unable to keep it within the playing lines. Marcus Raimundo hasn't gotten forward all too often in this game so far. Found himself in a decent position that time around. Lepiane has made a few interceptions and clearances early on. Seems to be a wise young centre half, Lepiane. Marcus Raimundo and Angola thought that they had a throw-in. Might have just clipped an Angolan player from Lepiane's clearance. Flicked on nicely there by Makupane. Ramalitze's throw, collected and helped on by Ketsi. Koko. It's excellent stuff from Lucas just to snuff the half chance. Here's Motati. On the overlap now is Motati. Lesotho looking to involve their fullbacks early on. Offside again against Lesotho. This time it's Temane that's the guilty party, guilty of just slightly misjudging his run and mistiming it. That Angolan defense quite sharp, setting the offside trap, and Temane was a little bit lazy backtracking into position. What a stage to play on. What an occasion this is for young men to chase a lifelong dream. For some, this is definitely the pinnacle of their young careers, but for others, this is just the door that will open up to endless opportunities in the future. And apart from taking their country to the next level, to the AFCON under-17 tournament next year in Côte d'Ivoire, it's an opportunity to impress. A few possible suitors that may be tuned in. Marcus Raimundo does nicely to find Eliseu Francisco. Angola working it beautifully. Here's the Vumbo. Eliseu Francisco on the charge down the left-hand side. Useful ball. That looked threatening. Well dealt with by Lipiane. And the goalkeeper of Lesotho, Moleli, was caught in a bit of no man's land. Didn't know when to come or to go. Useful ball that was from Eliseu Francisco. Nearly landed on the head of Jairo Muanya. So far an even start between these two sides. Lesotho have been caught offside twice. Angola have looked slightly the more threatening between the two in the opening exchanges. Still very early doors in this under-17 COSAFA Championship opener. Real obvious early chance is yet to rear its face for either Lesotho or Angola. There's Mutati in charge of this throw-in for the men in blue and white. That's a foul throw, a rookie mistake. And it lets Angola off the hook. Something that would really frustrate Sidwell Mutea. Josimar Vicente to Gelson Dalla. Excellent distribution by the goalkeeper. Lands at the feet of Marcus Raimundo. Here's Eliseu Francisco. Those two playing with a lot of vigor, a lot of creativity. It's another crucial block. Diaz Luvumbo was on the charge. Angola have looked especially lively down that left-hand side after a decent on the right-hand side by Omar Oliveira. Eliseu Francisco has since really entered the fray and entered the contest and made his intentions pretty clear to that Lesotho back line. We have a corner to attend to defend. Because of the height of some of these Angola defenders, and could be the route avenue to 3 points this afternoon. Denza Leon, decent delivery, well repelled by Hlojeng for Lesotho. Here goes Makupane, he's dispossessed. Seems to be very congested in the middle of the park. 10.5 minutes into this contest and that opener is still yet to be found. The first goal of this year's under-17 COSAFA Championships is yet to be nailed in. And that first goal will definitely relieve so much tension for either Angola or Lesotho. You can still quite literally feel the nerves swirling around in this rather intimate venue here at UJ. Here's Lucas. The captain of Lesotho produces a rather disappointing pass. Pounced upon by Eliseu Francisco, but before he and Angola can advance, the referee, Norris Aerosol, just stops play and asks Angola to take a free kick. Wonderful spin to get the better of Motati. It's a good challenge from Baptista Kalunga. Produces a good cross. The goalkeeper got a fingertip to it, did Moleli. Proving to be just enough. And now Lesotho can lift their heads and head in the opposite direction, but again it's another rather poor giveaway to Denza Leon, who decides to take on 2 Lesotho players, does so effectively but doesn't get past the third one. Jaro Muanya, Leon, Omar Oliveira. Went to ground. So those two wingers have swapped flanks very early on in their attempts to keep this Lesotho backline guessing and on their toes. There's definitely a decent delivery in from Kalungwinya. And handy goalkeeping by Moleli. Kept his eyes on it and got a crucial fingertip on the football as well. So after the day's events, we will be afforded a greater understanding of not only what is at stake in this competition, but also how this Group A, will unfold. Mozambique and Malawi will be watching this match with great intrigue before they battle one another later on. That contest will kick off at 3 p.m. sharp at this very ground. And it was also confirmed at sunset yesterday that this venue, the A.W. Miller Stadium, will host most this competition, while the ladies will mostly be in action at UJ Soweto Sports Complex. There have been a few logistical issues coupled with a burst pipe at the other stadium and, of course, undeniable political unrest in Mozambique. But nothing was going to stop these COSAFA qualifiers from taking place and from us enjoying the next generation of young talent earning their place on the regional, then hopefully the continental stage. Josemar Vicente with a bit of an unforced error, a major unforced error. It was perhaps caught in between two minds. His goalkeeper Gelson Dala was coming nearer, hoping to help out. Instead it's been put out for a Lesotho corner. One expects that the men in red will generate more of the opportunities. Lesotho have to be ruthless in moments such as this. Makubane just placing the ball exactly the way he likes it. So it's going to be an in-swinger for the likes of Lepiane and Malitse and Jeng and Mutati and Ketsi to try and attack, and it's a disappointing corner and a disappointing clearance from Diaz Luvumbo. So a chance at a redo for Makubane. Needs to put a lot more elevation on his corner kick. Gives the signal. And again, it's very low, very disappointing. Hits the side netting, and Angola have no reason to worry. Marcus Raimundo. So the goal kick option is not really an option for Gelson Dala. It's definitely been a tactical ploy of Domingos da Silva's team to play out from the back and to draw the Lesotho players out of position. But so far those gaps are yet to appear in behind that Lesotho defense. So far they've been quite rigid, but will they be cracked open as this game goes on? They've been a bit too lackadaisical with the ball at their feet, unable to string together a few meaningful passes. And Angola have definitely looked the more likely to score the opener. Although this is a funny old game and anything can happen. Lucas. Here's Gelson Dala joining in the outfield as an extra outfield player. Angola definitely the more ball-playing unit. It's well worked again. Marcos Raimundo making the run down the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side waits Eliseo Francisco, who keeps it in. Wonderful close control. Baptista tried to get past his opposite number, couldn't do so. Mutati. Every time he drops into the midfield, Oko does the defending in that left fullback slot. Well, that's nearly a mistake. The goalkeeper spilt it, but no harm done for Angola and for Dala. So not for the first time in this game, Josemar Vicente has not had convincing moments. Both coaches, Silva Mutea and Domingos da Silva, were partly happy with the start that their teams have produced up until now. Temperature is sure to increase throughout this game, throughout the day. And will it take its toll? Here's a chance then for Lesotho. Masitela decides to have a go from range. It opened up for Masitela and Lesotho there, and now they'll have to backtrack, do some defending. As Angola are on the charge again down the right-hand side this time with LSU Francisco. He's quick, but he's not quick enough. It was a very ambitious ball that he was asked to keep in. So Jen, Tumoleli, Lipeane. Seems to be the more brutish, old school defender. Whereas Sojeng is perhaps more confident with the ball at his feet. You always need that kind of combination in the modern game. As for Marcos Raimundo, he's looked incredibly lively up until now, as has Denzel Luyun for Angola, who commits the foul there. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, 9 16-year-olds are playing for Lesotho today. 2 15-year-olds, that being Masitela and Makupane. But for Angola, their coach, Domingos da Silva, has fielded 5 15-year-olds. Looking for some continuity in the under-17 age group. Looking for a team that can grow together. Masitela tries to have another go. Big chance here for Lesotho, and it bounces very favorably into the bread basket of Dala. After playing second fiddle in the opening 10 minutes or so, Lesotho have definitely grown into this contest. Football is a game of confidence, and Lesotho are definitely trying to find theirs. So the captain of Lesotho, just nursing a bit of a knock to the lower back, received a few pats with the ice pack, and now he'll make his way off the field of play. And conditions are absolutely ruthless, so demanding this afternoon, as are the coaches. Sidwell Mutea having a word or two to share with Temane and Masitela. And the match restarts with a drop ball that Jairo Muanya helps along to Ivan Manuel. Marcos Raimundo. Composed start from the Angolans, second gear in nature. Or they just look to step on the gas as this half progresses. They can turn it on in next to no time. So far Lesotho have done well just to marshal them to the wider areas where their harm seems to be quite limited and their threat level quite limited. Lipeane steps into the midfield with confidence, looks for that long raking ball to Oko. It's taken though by Baptista Kalungwinya. Now Jalsin Dala. Decent control from Francisco. Excellent switch from Francisco as well to his opposite winger, Omar Oliveira. Was already on the move. Lovely 1-2 between himself and Diaz Luvumbo. Big opportunity here for Angola. Big save from Moleli. They were carved open. In that instance was Lesotho. It was a wonderful Angolan attack. Swift and precise, and had everything nice except the final finish. So Jairo Muanya with the first eye-catching chance of the game, unable to take it, and it's still scoreless between these two youthful national teams. Here's Baptista. Here's LSU Francisco, trying to take on the Lesotho captain. Fails to do so. That's excellent defending, excellent shepherding work from Hlojeng. He has to lead from the front in not this contest, but in the broader tournament as well. Matches will be coming thick and fast, and both these sides will be looking to etch their name into the final four. That semi-final stage will get underway a week from now, next week, Wednesday, on the 11th of December. The winner, the two respective winners of those two semi-finals will advance to the AFCON under-17 event. Ketsi. A little bit of an aimless pass, lack direction, and it has been pounced upon by Lucas. Angola so far definitely winning the 50-50 battles, although Lesotho have taken it off their toes very nicely thanks to the endeavour from Makupane. But here's Omar Oliveira once again, Diaz Luvumbo. Without a doubt the tallest player out on the park in this game. Safety first from Hlojeng. It's out to touch, so Angola might be presented a long throw-in opportunity. They'll probably play short to Francisco, who's been so neat and tidy when the ball has arrived at his feet. And the sign of a class player is their ability to draw more than one man to their area. And Lesotho have often doubled up on LSU Francisco. It's Kalache. He does the screening work in the middle of the park, does Kalache. So far he hasn't had a lot of the ball, forced to do a lot of chasing, a lot of defending. But there's no doubt that an opportunity will soon come for Lesotho. It's all about patience and defensive solidity in tournament football, and taking your opportunities when they are presented to you. Offside against Temane, not for the first time. And that Lions lady on the far side of the field, Dominica Melusi, has been quite active so far. Francisco. So the format of this competition follows the typical COSAFA tournament playbook. 12 teams have been divided into 3 groups of 4. 3 group winners, together with the best runner-up, will cement their place in the final 4. The semi-finals, the 2 matches with destiny, as I said, will kick off a week from now. So due to conditions, due to the scorching temperatures here in Johannesburg, and really throughout South Africa, these 2 teams have been afforded an opportunity to take a bit of a water break, a cooling break, and a tactical time out, if you will. So far Angola have definitely made a better start, but as far as the scoreline is confirmed, it's still level pegging between the quote-unquote hosts and Angola. And already the coaches are in close discussion. Sidil Mutea, Mr. Blom and Makoa Letuya are definitely discussing with their attackers. A few dribbles, a few skills, a few drop of the shoulders. LSU Francisco has played with quite a bit of creativity and flair. You can expect that from young men. Himself and Densa Luyun have looked especially lively. Full of energy so far are the Angolan attackers. Final product is the only thing that's missing from their game so far. You can expect magic from these young kids, and 15, 16-year-olds only just really started their journey into professional football. A A lot of them have still got so much to learn, so much to grow, and yet they are playing at an incredibly high level. Baptista restarts the show between Angola and Lesotho. He's dispossessed. Ngoko launches Lesotho. Stolen back though by Angola, by Baptista Kalangwinya. Here's Denzaluyun. Skill again from Luvumbo. So try to bamboozle Lucas and try to nick a yard off him. He was nibbling there, was Ketsi. Nibbling without taking too big of a bite. Alessio Francisco. Venomous hit from Denzel Leon is blocked by the hand of Ketsi. So he has a free kick opportunity for Angola. Very central in its position, but quite a distance away. So Moleli, the Lesotho goalkeeper, is definitely favourite to deal with this threat. So Lesotho have definitely been the more active team in terms of committing fouls. And the last thing you want to do is to commit a bag full of fouls just outside of your penalty area. With classy eight-piece specialists like Alessio Francisco and Densa Leon hovering over the ball. So will it be Densa Leon or perhaps the Angolan captain? It's going to be Angola's number 10. Great block from Hlojeng after it did beat the wall. It seemed as if that strike was heading on target. But Hlojeng, the captain of Lesotho, just threw out a limb. Caught it quite sweetly with the left boot. There was the block that first came off the body, then on the hand from Makupane. Here's Moleli. Made that one really impressive smothering save to deny Jero Muanya and Angola from the opening goal. Ketsi. There's an Angolan player down, but Lesotho will not stop, nor are they obliged to. Huge opportunity this one is, and it's cracked off the crossbar. What an attempt from Ngoko. Outside of the box, gave it the lot. Absolutely smashed that one. Decided to chop back and not go with his weaker side, and he chose the correct option, and he couldn't believe his luck. He was on his way to celebrate. And in fact, it was another really incredible save by the goalkeeper. Jelson Dalla did get a fingertip to it before it hit the crossbar. So good showing by these two goalkeepers in the opening exchanges. And is that the chance, the strike that will infuse and provide a lot of confidence for Lesotho? They can indeed take on and topple Angola if they really apply themselves, if they really take the game to them. So far, Masitela's input has been limited, Temani as well. But Lesotho's number 10, Ngoko, has really played with a lot of heart and a lot of want. A want and a need to impress. Jaro Muanya, the other player to have come close to scoring, but he was denied by the goalkeeper outright. Diaz Luvumbo does well. One player is on his back, delivers a really good cross. Expertly dealt with by Lipiane, and then the curler is attempted. What a curler! What a goal! Angola have liftoff in the under-17 COSAFA Championships. It's been a to and fro game up until now, and it was going to take an absolute beauty to break the deadlock, to open the show. And what a truly magnificent goal that was. A lot of credit needs to go to the endeavor of that man in your picture, Diaz Luvumbo. But Alessio Francisco has definitely deserved that goal. He's been one of the standout players in the opening half an hour. And he was always going to chop back and look for that picturesque pinpoint left boot curler. The goalkeeper Moleli was backtracking and trying his utmost best to tip it over the top of the crossbar. Failed to do so, and Lesotho suffer an early setback. Lovely goal. Peculiar celebration, but the young men are definitely relishing the occasion. Tlojeng. Now, how does that goal influence Lesotho's approach to this contest? We've seen some sterling football played here by both these outfits. What a truly magnificent goal that was from Eliseu Francisco. Not hit with a lot of ferocity, but very accurate. And Diaz Luvumbo is definitely one to watch out for as this tournament progresses. So it goes without saying that that Angolan goal puts the men in red on top of Group A for now. Although it still is incredibly early doors in this year's Under-17 COSAFA Championships. Championship will decide two COSAFA affiliated nations that will partake in the next Under-17 AFCON event to take place in Cote d'Ivoire. Lucas is the next one to try his luck from a mile out. Tlojeng. So the format definitely asks a whole lot of these young players. 3 grueling group contests together with 2 knockout matches. But so far these 2 will just be focused on getting past the first stage and opening their accounts. Angola have already done so, Lesotho are still yet to do so. You really feel for them. They could have easily done so if it weren't for the fingertip of Dala and the contribution of the crossbar. Lesotho could have struck first and taken the lead, but it wasn't meant to be, and now they're forced to come from behind, come from a losing position. The odds were stacked against Lesotho before the game kicked off. Now those odds have definitely increased after that Eliseu Francisco stunner. Lucas Jaramuanya. So the last rendition of this thrilling competition did take place in the capital city of Malawi, and it was definitely an event to remember, especially for the Zambians, who happened to claim their 3rd Under-17 COSAFA Championship title by narrowly defeating South Africa, the hosts of this event and 3-time winners of this tournament as well. Francisco on the overlap is Baptista, clips it up towards the far post. It just drifts out of play. You're never quite too sure which option Eliseu Francisco will take. Will he dart in the inside or combine with Baptista Kalawinga on the outside? Glaring discrepancy between the 2 in terms of goal attempts so far. Only the 1 try from Lesotho, 7 for Angola, 3 of which have been on target for the Angolans, and only 1 from Lesotho. There's a nutmeg there on Eliseu Francisco, and that foul occurs right in front of the Angolan dugout, a technical area, should I say. And he's really been in the thick of it so far as the Angolan captain Lucas. He's been full of running, full of energy, and he's looked to lead from the front, and he's definitely added a certain level of physicality in the midfield that Lesotho haven't been able to cope with. No surprise here that Eliseu Francisco is in charge of this free kick. Good run from Baptista, but again he gets his cross wrong, and it goes behind for a Lesotho goal kick. He's been finding himself in really promising positions. Just needs to keep his head, keep his cool a little bit longer, because there's certainly no short supply of chances for Angola, especially down this right avenue. Another offside against Lesotho's enterprising number 10. And that time around, it does appear as if he did time his run correctly, but it's always difficult to gauge when players are moving at exceptional speeds. Moleli. And there you have it, 4 offsides against Angola's none. Here goes Motati though, for Lesotho. Goes long with a very early cross. Held up, and this time it's Lesotho that will be afforded a free kick opportunity. A little bit over eager that time around was Ivan Manuel on Tsemane. Who did well to get there ahead of the centre half, and a clear little shoulder nudge on Tsemane. So we've seen 2 spectacular hits so far, one of which ended up in the back of the net for Angola, one of which has still sent the crossbar rattling and moving. Are we about to be privy to another fantastic attempt? Jalson Dala is not happy at all with his 3-man wall. Wants to line up a very specific way. Ketsi or Kalache, lefty or a righty for Lesotho to try and draw level. It's going to be Ketsi, and it just cruises over the top. Altitude definitely playing its part. Just leant back that ever so slightly. Did Ketsi. All of the Lesotho players in the box were in any way offside, but he was never going to try and introduce a cross into the box. Josemar Vicente started this encounter off rather slowly, but he's also found his groove. Marcus Raimundo with his first uncharacteristic touch of the game. Masitela collects the scraps. It's not great from Ramalitze, and Omar Oliveira looks to guide Angola towards the Lesotho goal. Here's Eliseu Francisco, puts one down. This is brilliant from Francisco, still he carries on. What a player he is. But that chance comes to nothing, and Lesotho can break, and break they do. They're still unable to break the resolve of that Angola defense. Jalson Dala to Josemar Vicente. Steps into the right fullback role. It's no surprise that his immediate intentions is to hoof it long towards Eliseu Francisco and Baptista Kalangwinya. The understanding between those two has been a marvel to watch so far. So Sidwell Mutea choosing to be proactive. Mana Matela is to be introduced before the half-time interval. He steps in for Tsemane, who up until now has just been caught offside. He's been a little bit isolated for Lesotho, hence Sidwell Mutea opting to make a very early change. Oko, Ketsi, Kalache now. Lesotho just trying to slow things down, to get a grip of the contest, to take some steam away from Angola. It is only a marginal 1-0 deficit that they are chasing, so it doesn't take much for them to re-enter this battle. Motati finds himself in some space. Tried to locate the substitute Manamatela. Lesotho do have a throw-in. Manamatela. And then Masitela. So far, a bit of an easy first half for referee Norris Aaron Arisol. Not major consequential calls that he's had to make up until now. Little over 2 minutes to go of this first stanza between Lesotho and Angola, and you can't help but feel that this is a crucial passage of play, especially for the men in blue and white, who look to re-enter the locker room with an equalizer intact. Kalache, too close to the goalkeeper, and it's catching practice really for Gelson Dala, who was well stationed. The outfield players were lined up on the edge of the 18-yard area. They appear to be very disciplined from the set piece, both in an attacking and defensive sense. Angola, they definitely also appear to be a very balanced team. A balanced team with a whole lot of individual quality thrown in the mix. Denzalayun. Luvumbo went through the legs of Slojeng. But on the balance of play, Angola definitely do deserve to be in the lead over Lesotho. But it's a cushion goal they seek. And as we all know, there are a fair few number of CAF events kicking off next year, from the junior categories to the Chan Matter, all the way to the senior teams. There's definitely so much to look forward to. AFCON 2023 was a raging success in Côte d'Ivoire, and the under-17 tournament should be close to, if not just as enticing. It is the immediate aspirations of these two teams, as well as the 10 other COSAFA affiliated nations, to take part in that showpiece event in Côte d'Ivoire next year. Masitela into Ketsi. This looks very promising for Lesotho. A shot on target from Masitela could have arrived from Ketsi. There was a bit of miscommunication there between the Lesotho attackers. All of their eyes lit up, and they outnumbered Angola in the box there, in Angola's own box, and still they couldn't quite grab onto that opportunity. Masitela not getting enough venom on his strike to really upset Gelson Dala. So just the 1 minute has been added on as stoppage time. It's a game that definitely has really flowed. Apart from the one cooling break, these players have been running ragged and have been run ragged. It's a good call by the Lions lady again. Masitela just getting it slightly wrong. Angola have been incredibly rigid at the back, very uniform in their 4-3-3 shape. As for Lesotho in the middle of the park, they've been a little bit staggered. Gaps have started to reveal, especially in the wider regions. Denzalayun isolates his man, puts in a cross. Francisco tries his utmost best to keep it in, fails to do so despite his creative attempt. Denzalayun has also started the first half off very well. And speaking of the first half, it has come to an end at the A.W. Miller Stadium. After a very good start, very enterprising start from Angola, Lesotho made their way back into the contest and hit the crossbar after a very venomous attempt from Ngoko. And just minutes after that strike, Angola found the breakthrough. after LSU Francisco just looped it over the head of Moleli. He's been truly impressive in this first half as LSU Francisco provided the opener and has given Angola a very positive base to try and attack Lesotho from in the second period. After the first 45 at the Stadium here in UJ, here in Auckland Park, it ends Lesotho 0, Angola 1. And as for the half-time statistics, Angola have tried their luck 7 times, Lesotho just the twice. 3 shots on target for Angola, 1 of which bulged the back of the net. LSU Francisco providing the opener. Angola are in control. Will that continue in the second period? Only time will tell. But do stay tuned. Here's the Vumbo. LSU Francisco on the charge down the left-hand side. Useful ball. That looked threatening. Caught in a bit of no man's land. Didn't know when to come or to go. Useful ball that was from LSU Francisco of Motati. It's a good challenge from Baptista Kalunga. Produces a good cross. The goalkeeper got a fingertip to it, did Moleli. In their attempts to keep this Lesotho backline guessing and on their toes. There's definitely a decent delivery in from Kalungwinya. And handy goalkeeping by Moleli. Was already on the move. Lovely 1-2 between himself and Diaz Luvumbo. Big opportunity here for Angola. Big save from Moleli. They were carved open. It was a wonderful Angolan attack. Swift and precise and had everything nice except the final finish. Ketsi. There's an Angolan player down, but Lesotho will not stop, nor are they obliged to. Huge opportunity this one is, and it's cracked off the crossbar. What an attempt. Decided to chop back and not go with his weaker side, and he chose the correct option, and he couldn't believe his luck. He was on his way to celebrate. Diaz Luvumbo does well. One player is on his back, delivers a really good cross. Expertly dealt with by Lipiana, and then the curler is attempted. What a curler! It's been one of the standout players in the opening half an hour, and he was always going to chop back and look for that picturesque pinpoint left boot curler. The goalkeeper Moleli was backtracking and trying his utmost best to tip it over the top of the crossbar. Failed to do so, and Lesotho suffer an early setback. And a warm welcome back to the A.W. Miller Stadium here in UJ as the COSAFA u17 Championship has been ignited. And what a first half that was from Lesotho and Angola, especially from the Angolans, who were more forthright and forefront with their attacking ambition. They really do deserve to be in the lead. But will that continue in the second half? After a brief interval, the players have trotted out onto the park with renewed energy. As for Lesotho, they'll be hoping with a renewed sense of hope. Across town in Soweto, the ladies team of Lesotho are cruising in their game against Eswatini. With only a few minutes to go, the Lesotho ladies are 6-0 ahead of Eswatini. But here in Auckland Park, Lesotho, the men in white and blue, are trailing against one of the most prominent teams in the COSAFA Championships throughout the age groups. And it does appear as if Sidwell Mutea is going to make another alteration. So they've made one attacking change, and now they're going to make a change in the midfield. Makupane, after a rather disappointing first half, has been removed from Mutea, hoping for some additional energy and creativity in the center of the park, something that Lesotho are in dire need of, although they only trail Angola by a simple goal to nil. This game can be reversed with a blink of an eye, with a flash of blue and white lightning that was nearly provided by their fantastic number 10, Oko. And if it wasn't for the crossbar, the scoreline would probably read 1-1 between these two. But Lesotho are chasing as Denzel Leeuwen clatters into the referee. It really was a gripping first half watch between these two sides. A fair few amount of chances were created by Angola, but they only managed to take that one, and it was really expertly taken by Eliseu Francisco. The way he received it, the way he opened up his body, and the way he looped it over the head of Moleli. It made it look simple, but it was anything but. Lesotho definitely have been one of the most frequent and prevalent teams in this competition, although they haven't quite been able to achieve real regional success. They haven't really gotten close to AFCON qualification in the past, and the last time they entered this tournament, their fate was already sealed in the group phase. And there's no worse way to start a group campaign than with a defeat. There's still so much to play for, and a lot to earn for Lesotho, who do have a throw-in just a meter and a half shy of the corner flag. Ramelitse, the right back, steps up to take this long throw-in for Lesotho. Will it drop kindly for someone? It's poked away from Lucas. Now Angola trying to play their way out of trouble, which they've done so often in this contest up until now. Denzel Leeuwen just putting too much meat on that pass. So Angola played with conventional wingers in the first half, in the first 10 minutes or so. The right footer Omar Oliveira was playing on the right-hand side, while Eliseu Francisco was playing on the left. After that first quarter of an hour, the tactical ploy shifted to the usage of inverted wingers, something that really did bring quite a bit of joy to Angola and did open up a fair few amount of angles closer to the penalty area of Lesotho. And it does appear as if Masitela is leading the line for Lesotho after playing just in behind Semane in the first half. Manematela, the substitute, will instead occupy that number 10 position and look to locate the pockets of spaces that Masitela does leave for him. Sojeng. Almost a really lovely ball to Motati. And questions were asked of Lesotho and how they were going to change their MO after conceding first. But does that goal change anything for Angola? Will they play the same, or will they be a little bit more cautious and circumspect and look to seal a 1-0 victory? Here's Josemar Vicente. Lucas. Every time Lucas gets the ball, he seems to be flooded and well watched by 2 or 3 Lesotho midfielders. Always seems to attract numbers, and that doesn't look good at all for Omar Oliveira, who just pulled up. Seems to be some muscle tension in the hamstring region. Could just be a simple muscle cramp, or it could be something more serious, something more underlying. He's a key cog in this Angolan system, is Omar Oliveira, and he does seem to be having a real issue with his left hamstring. So the medical staff of Angola will definitely be called upon and summoned. Medical staff that is led by Agostinho Ventura Costa. And this is how it happened. A little bit innocuous, no player close to him, just pulled up in his attempt just to keep the ball within the playing lines. And you really feel for the young man who leaves the field in quite a bit of pain. Let's hope that his tournament won't be cut short. So Angola and Domingos da Silva has been forced to make a forced alteration. It's going to be an attacking one in that, with Omar Oliveira unfortunately being stretchered off, and it looks very unlikely that he will return to the fray. 2 players go to the ground. Mutati seemed to have come worse off that challenge. Contest between the 2 number 18s, Mutati and LSU Francisco. Did get the better of Mutati for the most part in that first half, did LSU Francisco. We are underway again. Ivan Manuel didn't have too much to do in that first half besides mopping up a few half chances from a Lesotho point of view. Jelson Dala. Has also definitely come to the party. Both goalkeepers definitely have. There's Francisco trying to turn when space was absolutely minute. Vicente. 2018 and 2021 were very special years for the Angolan under-17 national team. They didn't return to the competition in 2022, which was the last event. So this year marks their long-awaited return, and just like the 11 other teams, the Angolans have a qualification thirst to quench. Oliveira is replaced by Diaz. Here's Lepeane. Plays his club stuff for Kick for Life FC. As for Marcos Raimundo, he was also heavily involved in that first period, up and down the left flank. And he was really taken out in that instance. The newest Lesotho substitute. Raimundo. He plays his club stuff for AFA Club Angola. Here he is. Lovely little ball to Diaz. He tries to make it work, doesn't. He will have a second bite at the cherry. Perhaps a third, then a fourth. Raimundo. His touch takes the ball out of play. And he's forced to recover his position. Angola seem to be playing with slightly less energy. First yellow card of the game has been dished out by Norris Aaron Arasol. And that is to be expected, as a few more flying challenges will enter into the contest as desperation seeps into the game. Here's Baptista. Also found himself in a few promising positions that he wasn't really to capitalize on. Lesotho do exceptionally well to nick that one back. Manamatela doesn't have the pace to beat Lucas, who has the longer leg, makes it count. It's always tough to beat Lucas in a foot race, and so it has proved in this match. Manamatela came on as a substitute for Tsemane. Looked to sneak around the back, but Lucas was wise to it. Minutes into the second half, and Lesotho are yet to find that equalizer. It's still quite delicately poised, this contest. Marcus Raimundo hasn't started the second off as brightly as he did the first. And he's given away a few uncharacteristic fouls. Now I've got my eye on you. Oh, I got the ball. Be it as it may, it's a very enticing battle between Marcus Raimundo and Masitela. But it is a Lesotho free kick, nonetheless. In a truly promising position. An opportunity that they will hope to count. And that ball from Ketsi just lets Angola off the hook entirely. And Hlojeng and Lepiane, Ramalitza and Motati will be disappointed with that outcome after expending energy to make their way into the box of Angola and to ready themselves for a cross into the box. A cross that just didn't arrive. But Lesotho do appear to be a little bit more attacking orientated in the second stanza. Perhaps direct instruction and motivation that was afforded to them by Sidwell Mutea during the interval. What a lovely slip ball that is to the goal scorer, looking for his second. Massive chance for Angola. Gargantuan opportunity for LSU Francisco. Gorgeous ball from Jaro Muani. And he went with the toe poke-esque finish, trying to catch Moleli off guard at his near post. But the ball just curved in the opposite direction, the direction LSU Francisco didn't want it to go. And just like that, one incredibly intelligent ball can undo so much defensive work. Masitela fulfills the false 9 role, and now he looks to get in behind, falls to Masitela. Still Masitela as he waits for support in the form of Kalachi, who just didn't arrive in time. And now the play is stretched again. Diaz looks for the Hollywood switch. Eliseo Francisco unable to take it on a run. And then another player pulls up. It's definitely been a shining light in this contest so far for Lesotho. They'll be hoping in the form of a goal that they so desperately need. with tests such as Mozambique and Malawi to follow for both these two sides. A positive start, a 3-point start is what they crave. And the wind has really picked up in the last few minutes. Could unsettle the back line, could entice the attackers of this delivery. It's not cleared from Angola. Massive opportunity for the Lesotho captain, who puts the ball into the back of the net, but he was in an offside position. The ball somehow reached Hlojeng after you would think that it was supposed to be dealt with by an Angolan defender. It wasn't. And mind you, Hlojeng was in an onside position. So Angola can count themselves lucky, fortunate to have escaped a Lesotho equalizer. But that won't deter them. Manamatela. And out comes Gelson Dalla. Slight momentum shift in this contest in favor of Lesotho. Angola have taken their foot off the gas, that ever so slightly. And Lesotho are the ones this time around that are looking to push the envelope. Kalache. It's going to be a simple throw-in for Angola. These two do share one unfortunate commonality, and that is that both were absent from the last tournament in Malawi. But they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and their absence has increased the appetite for some regional success. Lesotho's last outing in this tournament ended abruptly when they finished last in a group that contained Zambia and Eswatini. Well, that's clever, but not clever enough. Angola do appear to be less sharp, less composed compared to what they were in the first period. As for Lesotho, their moments will arise, moments that they really have to pounce upon. Hlojeng was in an onside position when the ball arrived at his feet, and when he put it in the back of the net, the goal doesn't stand. So some controversy has crept into the Under-17 COSAFA Championship opener. Strong header from Ivan Manuel, needed to be. Good piece of skill from Denzel Leeuwen to get beyond his marker to draw the foul. But at what cost? He's always availed himself to receive the ball in the tightest of spaces on the field today. And he's been unafraid to enter into 50-50 duels and to drive in the heart of Lesotho. As for Ketsi, he was a little bit overzealous that time around. Denzel Leeuwen is without doubt a very important player for the Angolan cause, and he's had a few marvelous touches in the game so far. His ability just to draw a player and then just to cruise past him is a real sight to behold. It looks even better when it happens in slow motion as well. And look at the free-flowing nature of his football. His ability to tease the opponent and then to take them on, drop of the shoulder, just to bamboozle his opposite number, and he's done so a fair few amount of times in this game so far. And it looks like there does seem to be a bit of activity on the Angolan bench. There's another long ball from Motati. Mulele needed to be quick off his goal line, and he was, because that ball just nearly exited his 18-yard box. And speaking about exiting, it's been difficult for Lesotho to do so with regularity in this game. There's no doubt that these two sides will definitely improve as the tournament goes on. But in a short tournament, you really need to grasp onto your early opportunities. Manamatela again is never going to get there ahead of Lucas. He's situated between two towering centre halves, so it's going to be tricky for the young diminutive Lesotho number 11 Manamatela to sprinkle his stardust. And there's the goal scorer, Eliseo Francisco. His goal is the only thing that separates Lesotho and Angola with nearly 65 minutes on the clock. And we saw a few delicate touches from Denzel and Yoon earlier on. Eliseo Francisco has that low center of gravity that is often so beneficial. Ramalitze. His cross has just been punted out into touch. Lesotho just need a little bit more quality in the final third. It's the only thing that's been void in their game up until now. And it goes without saying that although 3 points is the first prize for either of these two teams, Lesotho would at least just want to get 1 point from this clash. Get themselves up and running, get a point on the board, and apply some pressure onto Malawi and Madagascar. Baptista Kalungwinya. Some work to be done here by Lipiane, and he does it exceptionally well. Manamatela again tries to rush things, and perhaps it wasn't on. Kalache almost over the top, nearly reaching Manamatela, who challenges Lucas and does so illegally. And Mr. Aerosol is quick to blow his whistle. He's definitely given them something different, as Manamatela. That time around he came from behind to nudge Lucas. Here's Ketsi one more for Lesotho. Tries to play a line-splitting pass. Diaz Luvumbo hasn't touched the ball too often for Angola in this game, but every single touch seems to be pure silk. Speaking of pure silk, look at this run from Lucas. Good pass out to the right-hand side to Eliseo Francisco, who is such a tricky customer. Good ball up towards Diaz, who controls it with his chest. Takes him wider than what he initially planned to go. Diaz goes for goal. Some bend on the strike, but perhaps too much bend, and this time Moleli was not going to be beaten. Did well to make room for the shot. Some of these young men really do play their football with a wealth of confidence. Heavy touch from Masitela. So it's nearly clicking for Lesotho. They're about 85% there. There's just the one menacing presence up top that they do lack. Diaz Luvumbo, Eliseo Francisco. It really is tough and harsh conditions to play in and try and star in. A lot of demands have been placed on these young 15/16-year-olds. And muscle fatigue will definitely set in, not only in this match, but also as the tournament goes on. The coaches, Sidwell Mutea and Domingos da Silva, will definitely look to make full use of their squads. So this is the only goal that we've witnessed in this game so far. Diaz Luvumbo was absolutely instrumental in the making of it, and then it fell to LSU Francisco on the edge of the box with a minimal backlift. Managed to deliver a postage stamp goal. He's the difference maker for Angola. Is his goal going to be the only thing that separates these two sides when the curtains draw close? That is the burning question. So Petrus is nursing his own muscle injury. Not so much of an injury than it is a knock. And it looks like when he makes his way onto the field of play, Angola will make another substitution just to see out the contest, just to wrap up the 3 points, because it has really been a tough fixture, one that has asked the Angolans to be ultra focused, ultra composed. And some tidy goalkeeping again from Gelson Dala. Just like Lesotho, Angola's last experience in this event and the last under-17 outfit the country produced participated in a COVID-restricted and limited tournament. But unlike Lesotho, the Angolans finished top of their group before breezing past Eswatini in the semi-finals and grinding out a victory in the final over Zambia. And there's Diaz Luvumbo getting his challenge all wrong on Hlojeng. Just seemed to have overstretched, and he's the next one to have entered the referee's black book. Paulo Diaz Luvumbo. He's been the focal point for Angola, the target man that they've turned to with regularity. As for Lesotho, they are just in need of a spark of ingenuity, something special, something that Ngoko could easily provide. Nearly did so in the first half. The chances are there. It's just up to them if they want to grab at it with both hands and cling on to it with every fiber in their being. The black shoes in the sun attracting some heat for referee Norris Aaron Arasol. Man that hails from the Seychelles. So he should be accustomed to the heat. Doesn't make it less any harsh. And the tactical board is also out. So perhaps some reshuffling will occur for Angola. João Capitão runs out onto the park in place of Jaro Muanya. So big shoes to fill for Capitão. As for Lesotho, they're also making a change of their own. Lianya will come on to replace Kalachi in that pivot role in the midfield. A very important role in the modern game, the linkage between the attack and the defense. Gelson Dala did incredibly well to prevent that ball from going out for a corner kick. Does, however, yield a throw-in opportunity for Lesotho. Ramalita was guilty of a foul throw in the first half, but that one was clean. Cross into the box. Still not cleared from Angola. Motati. That one just goes out of play. And he kicks the ball away in absolute fury after the whistle went. As far as the possession stats are concerned, a lot closer in the first half than what it was in the second period. Lesotho are enjoying 48% of it. Angola still shading and having the lion's share, that being 52%, as Diaz Luvumbo looks to launch an instinctive strike, and he is also pulled up with a hamstring strain. Seems to be quite common in this game so far. There was a squeal of agony. Not at all comfortable. Angola are missing their number 9 for the time being, but what can Diaz produce? Thought about delivering a Rabona, but that was just to deceive the opposition. And Denza Leon to Diaz. It's nicked off him. And Diaz presses Moleli. Confident play from Lesotho to get themselves out of a very tricky and sticky situation. That's beautiful. This could yield a goal for Lesotho if it wasn't for that recovery, that brilliant, heroic recovery from Josimar Vicente. Just for a brief moment, it did open up for Ngoko. But he was just a little bit too sluggish in his approach. Thought he had time when, in fact, he had none of it. Monamatela in charge of this corner kick for Lesotho. It's headed and nodded down by Hlojeng. But Lesotho are lacking that potent punch that Angola delivered in the first half. And now Angola are just seeking to see out this contest. Success in this shorter tournament definitely does hinge on one's ability to churn out difficult results. Results such as this, when Angola are only ahead of Lesotho by a simple goal to 0. It's been a battle of fine margins, and Angola have definitely played the bigger moments better than Lesotho up until now, but that could change. And this was the earlier opportunity for Diaz Luvumbo, who took it on very early and then pulled up not too long after. And this time it's Diaz that will play through the middle. Diaz Luvumbo is still out of the picture. Ketsi for Lesotho attracts 2 men in red. Diaz Luvumbo is desperate to come back onto the field of play. Lesotho looking to make their 1-man advantage count. They can't make it count like that. Denza Leon goes over the top. Just too much legs on the pass. It's thrown out by Moleli. Poor touch. Diaz Luvumbo rejoins the picture. Here's Diaz. Towards the goal scorer, Eliseo Francisco has a hit, and he's blocked by Lipiane. Definitely not for the first time, and probably not for the last time either. Luvumbo was perhaps bursting too quickly into an offside position. Therefore, Diaz had to wait, and Eliseo Francisco joined the party. But by that time, Lesotho had enough bodies back to deal with the matter. Angola hoping to deliver the final nail in the coffin. Marcos Raimundo opting to go on the outside, backing his pace, but instead he and Angola will have to settle for a corner kick. It's almost 12 minutes of normal time remains in this CAF u17 Championship opener. Angola still hold on to that slender lead. Can they add to it? The answer is yes. And boy, does Denza Leon deserve that goal. That probably should settle it for Angola. Just when Lesotho were crawling back into the contest, Angola have knocked them back again. This time from a simple corner kick delivery. And they've made their height advantage count, have the Angolans. Denzel Leyoun has been running the show in the center of the park, pulling the strings. And on that occasion, he rose highest from a Diaz delivery to nod in from close range. This time, clipping the underpart of the crossbar. Poor marking from Lesotho. But an expert, powerful header from Denzel Leyoun. And he's joined in celebrations by his entire Angolan team. There's definitely an element of fun to this Angolan side. As much as there is focus and tactical discipline, they do really enjoy themselves. And that has been clearly evident in this clash against Lesotho. We've just been a level short of Angola. And now their task becomes a whole lot more difficult. Ramalitse. It's a good ball from Ramalitse. Did it clip the hand? Indeed it did. They aren't shy of producing moments, Lesotho, but every time they enter the final third of Angola, they just seem to freeze up a little bit. In that instance, Oko was quite unlucky in the way the ball ricocheted back onto his elbow. Chichuakuala comes on to replace Paulo Luvumbo, who's led the line incredibly well for Angola this afternoon. Didn't get his goal, but his input in this clash has been undeniable. And now it's just all about sealing the deal for the men in red with black shorts. They're nearly there, nearly over the first finishing line. Gelson Dala puts his laces through that clearance. Alessio Francisco gives chase. It's always difficult to predict how teams in this competition and the AFCON Under-17 tournament will fare, because the teams undergo so much change as the young players progress through the relevant age groups. But in relation to the likes of Senegal and Morocco, COSAFA affiliated nations still have some way to go in terms of closing the gap. And only but the very best of Africa's southern region is present at this prestigious event. Since the dawn of this competition in 1994, South Africa, Zambia and Angola are usually the most prevalent in the title picture. Is that going to remain to be the case this year? Or will we see a new, unknown, mysterious force rise to the occasion? The hosts, South Africa, and defending champions Zambia, were the last two COSAFA affiliated nations to have featured at the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. When they did, however, they didn't last very long, as both South Africa and Zambia were eliminated out of the same group. The best achievement to date of the Angolan Under-17 national team is a bronze place finish at the 2019 edition of the Under-17 AFCON tournament. But that was a different time with a different group of Under-17 players. As for this grouping, they appear to be highly motivated and highly skilled. And in that instance, there was also another overstretch from Baptista Kalawinga. And that stretcher has been called for more than once in this collision between Lesotho and Angola. So one goal in the first half, one goal in the second half has given Angola a cushion lead over Lesotho. The first strike was courtesy of Alessio Francisco, who just bended the ball over and beyond the reach of Moleli. And it really has been a disco, a party for Angola this afternoon. They must surely be ecstatic with their start to this competition. So Angola added to their lead via a corner kick. Can Lesotho half the deficit via a corner kick? Mane Matela puts the ball up towards the penalty area. Peculiar header from the captain, Hlojeng. Didn't exactly know what to do with it, whether to knock it across the face again or whether to take it on himself. Caught in between two minds, and that has probably just been the case for Lesotho throughout this tie. But speaking about getting caught between two minds, the Angolan defense went to sleep. And after clattering the crossbar in the first half, Noko has given Lesotho a chance at a point. A chance to draw level against Angola. The 2-goal lead is no more. And that has arrived out of absolutely nothing. Just when you think you're running away with the result, this game can humble you. And he took the chance with aplomb, did Noko. Just passing the ball into the empty side of Gelson Dala's net. So we're in for one massive crescendo of a finish. Can they capitalize on this now? Oh no, Masitela gets it all wrong. That could have been their moment. But out of nothing, Lesotho are very much back into this match. Is there to be one major shake-up in Group A when we thought Angola were going to sail to the top of the standings? Masitela. Bust the lung to try and keep that one in. He does. Masitela up against Marcos Raimundo. He does well. Up on his feet again is Masitela. This time not opting for a little dribble. Instead he drills it across. Angola are still a man shy. So this very much is last chance saloon for Lesotho in the final few minutes. There's more than enough time to conjure up an equalizer. When not a lot of people were expecting it to come. So just like today, tomorrow is going to be an ultra busy, ultra entertaining day's worth of under-17 football splendor. Zimbabwe versus Eswatini and Comoros versus Mauritius are the two matches that kick off midday, while the Group B match between Zambia and Namibia will begin at 3 o'clock. Just like the Group C encounter that sees the host nation pitted against Botswana, a team that can become a banana skin on any given day for any team. And Lesotho are trying to be the exact same against Angola. What a hit! Stinging attempt! Nearly brought the house down. Lianya didn't take a touch. Saw the headlines written, went for glory. Another corner then from Lesotho. Hlojeng rises. Getsi also has a go. And just for a brief second he had Gelson Dala worried, did Getsi. But the earlier attempt from Lianya was out of this world. On the half volley, drilled it beautifully, had lovely shape on it. But just not enough to beat Gelson Dala. That would have been an incredible way to equalize. This has without doubt been a magnificent curtain raiser for what is sure to be a marvelous under-17 COSAFA championship. The tournament has definitely been sparked into life by these two units. And may the entertainment continue when Malawi and Madagascar take one another on at 3 p.m. sharp. So the other teams in this competition, including Lesotho and Angola, might be aware of the fact that every time these Under-17 COSAFA Championships have been hosted by South Africa. The Majimbos have won the entire thing in each occasion. It's definitely an omen that will live on for the next 10 days, or an omen that will be smashed by an unknown team. Is Masitela onside? He is. Chance again, goes for goal. Fantastic stop from Gelson Dala. He needed to be agile, he needed to be elastic, and so he was. Masitela decided to look for one of his teammates and then went for glory by himself, and it was bending into that far corner. But Gelson Dala to the rescue again for Angola. Less than a minute to go of normal time, up towards Lojeng. And that attack fizzles out for Lesotho. Everyone is eager to know how many minutes will be added on for stoppage time by the fourth official. So although the Lesotho men's senior team missed out on an AFCON qualification by a margin of 6 points, it is totally possible that the nation's finest under-17s could still qualify for the AFCON showpiece event. Well, the senior side could attain an unlikely achievement, and that is to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup as well. So things are definitely starting to look up for Lesotho and the federation after years of endless dissatisfaction for the men in white and blue. But these final 4 minutes will be absolutely crucial in the manner in which this tournament will unfold. They've kept us at the very edge of our seats. And long may that continue for the rest of this Under-17 COSAFA Championship event. It's put out, wisely so, by Baptista Kalawinga. Time is not on Lesotho's side. They need a moment. Could it be provided now? Good defensive work there by Ivan Manuel just to shut the door. Well, there was a delayed call by the referee. Some thought he was going to award a free kick to Angola. It's just a simple throw into Lesotho though. Ball into the box. Oko rises well. And it's pouched by Gelson Dala, who'll just look to lie on top of the football for a valuable few seconds, just to take the sting out of Lesotho's tail. On another day, this could have easily been Lesotho's day. The crossbar denied them in that first half, and Gelson Dala has done so 2 or 3 times in this game. He's been fantastic, and so has Marcus Raimundo and LSU Francisco, as well as Denzel Leyun, the second goal scorer for Angola. As for Lesotho, as the tournament goes on, keep an eye out for Noko. Lepiane is a very capable centre-half. Molele seems to be a very resolute goalkeeper, skillful goalkeeper that would be slightly disappointed with himself in the manner in which he conceded that first goal against LSU Francisco. That goal is now in the history books as Lesotho falter and attack once more. Diaz runs and runs with purpose beyond one Lesotho player, but not past Lepiane. He's been an exceptional watch this afternoon. And it really has been an exceptional, gripping match of football, this one. So when the curtains close on this championship opener, the final matter of the opening day is another Group A affair between Mozambique and Malawi, two teams that are more than capable of reaching the all-important semi-final stage. And you'll be left in the very capable hands of Thando Mjiako for that crunch tie in this Group A group. That'll definitely have a significant bearing in the second round of fixtures. This is Lesotho's 7th corner of the game. 10 seconds to go on the clock. This is probably their last and most important chance. Moleli, the goalkeeper of Lesotho, has remained at bay. So the delivery from Ketsi needs to be absolutely on the money, which it isn't. It's a bit of a waste, but it's still there. Strike from range, repelled by Ivan Manuel, and that will do it for Angola. The perfect way to launch their under-17 COSAFA championship campaign. A victory over Lesotho has been secured. With 20 minutes or so to go, they were sailing to a rather comfortable victory in the end, but Lesotho in the end made it really difficult for them, asking a lot of questions of that defense and of Gelson Dalla. But Angola have done incredibly well to deliver a professional victory over Lesotho. Job done for them. As for the men in white and blue, they'll have to go back to the drawing board before they play their second group match, which they definitely cannot afford to lose. Very impressive performance from Gelson Dalla. As for Lesotho, they've definitely shown some really positive signs in that game, but it was just a little bit too late. And there's the South African cohort that will take to this field tomorrow afternoon. Vela Khumalo. How will his side fare in this competition? Remember, they are the favorites. But as for this game, after a full, entertaining 90 minutes, the full-time scoreline reads Lesotho 1, Angola 2. They generated more goal attempts than Angola. Lesotho did find the target more often than the Angolans did and edged possession in the end. But the all-important statistic reads Lesotho 1, Angola 2. Stay tuned for that 3 p.m. collision between Mozambique and Malawi. Diaz Luvumbo does well. One player is on his back, delivers a really good cross. Expertly dealt with by Lepiane, and then the curler is attempted. What a curler! But LSU Francisco has definitely deserved that goal. And he was always going to chop back and look for that picturesque pinpoint left boot curler. The goalkeeper Moleli was backtracking and trying his utmost best to tip it over the top of the crossbar. Failed to do so, and Lesotho suffer an early setback. Almost 12 minutes of normal time remains in this CAF u17 championship opener. Angola still hold on to that slender lead. Can they add to it? The answer is yes. Pulling the strings. And on that occasion, he rose highest from a Diaz delivery to nod in from close range. This time, clipping the underpart of the crossbar. Poor marking from Lesotho. Powerful header from Denzel Leun. Caught in between two minds, and that has probably just been the case for Lesotho throughout this tie. But speaking about getting caught between two minds, the Angolan defense went to sleep. And that has arrived out of absolutely nothing. Just when you think you're running away with the result, this game can humble you. And he took the chance with aplomb to live on for the next 10 days, or an omen that will be smashed by an unknown team. Is Masitela onside? He is. Chance again, goes for goal. Fantastic stop from Gelson Dalla. He needed to be agile, he needed to be elastic, and so he was. Masitela decided to look for one of his teammates and then went for glory by himself, and it was bending into that far corner. But Gelson Dala to the rescue again for Angola.